2010 Ford Edge. Should be a pretty boring video, I hope, because if it's a boring video for me, for you, it's easy money for me. Anyways, get the upper side done. I'm gonna tackle this side. We're gonna do front brakes and rotors today. 19 millimeter. Yeah, if you have these swollen lug nuts and you don't have like the 19 and a half and whatnot, you can always just well, usually you just put them back on and give them a nice tug and they come off. So this one is so bad we're gonna need something else. Unscrew it, get a nice thick punch, shove it down the center, and shoot it across the garage. All right, I see a much newer caliper. So it's a 17 millimeter for the, well, should be for the caliper itself. Now keep in mind, these are two different sizes. So once this finally gets undone, see the two different sizes? Larger goes up top. That's on both sides too. The larger one goes up top on both sides. Nice uneven pad wear. Switch back to the 19 for the caliper bracket. I'll get this cleaned up as best I can. Now with the caliper bracket, what I like to do is take them off and leave them the same. These, unlike the, just rebuild it on the caliper bracket, because these are just little pieces and one size don't fit all. So you gotta, 2 and 2 go together. Now I'm gonna take what's left of my buffer disc before I have to change it and clear off all the buildup. get your new bag and start them matching. So here. Now what you want to line up is, see if I can. So this piece right here, how it's like bent in. I did have to go back to the old one just because it was it's causing me problems. So like I said, the other one was in great shape. Just sand it back down, grind it back down, whatever you have. You don't have to have like air tools or anything like that. Just there you go. Look how easy that slides in and out. That's how you want it. Beautiful. Okay, same with the rear. Apply it to the friction points. I put a little too much, but that's okay. I pay for it, so. Nothing fancy here. You can use whatever tool you have at your disposal, whether it's a C-clamp or this thing, and there's another press, but this thing kind of wore out on me already, so I gotta keep saying I'm over a new one, but I don't. I think last couple videos, see it keeps losing pressure. I gotta squeeze the two plates. Oh, and something I seen before. When you're putting the brake caliper back on, make sure it's not pigtailed. This line needs to be how it came from the factory. You can't have it bent, because I don't think it affects the pressure going to the caliper, to the pistons, but I think when it has to go back in, I think it just doesn't let it. So like I said, make sure you set it down and make sure it looks straight like this. Like I said, I think it was just the other day I ran into where it was like locking up on them, and it sounded like I needed a new caliper. But then I looked and I was like, hey, let's just try putting the hose back, running the hose back to how it's supposed to go. And that took care of it. Okay. And now same with the pins. Remember, large one goes up top. And grease them, get them put back in, and you'll be done with the front brakes. Let's move on to the rear. Happy New Year, everyone. It's probably been a good almost week. So supposed to be front brakes and rotors on this Ford Edge, but with the rears, but popped open the rear. The shop said they needed rears. They did not need anything in the rear. It looked all brand new. They didn't need the front, so that's all done. But I did find once we put it all back together, we started test driving it, and this caliper over here was sticking, which I knew it was sticking. I was hoping, I don't know, maybe it would just unstick itself, but it did not unstick itself. So I tried to do a caliper on it. See, when I was pushing in the piston, it bent these. These are my piston compressor tool. That's okay, I wanted a new one anyway, so I got a new one. I'm going a different design. I'll show you that, guys. It's probably some other job, but like get the tire off using the 19 millimeter, and we'll get that caliper replaced. Now to achieve this goal, we're gonna want to do 217 millimeter brackets, and then these you just use the 19 to get that off. So we're gonna get the nice new bracket. These are the same two 19 millimeter bolts that we took off before. All right, it's caliper time. Pretty simple stuff. Get your new screw bolt ready. Put the one washer on here. You know, set it somewhere where you can get to it fast. Or if you drop everything like me today, clean off the debris, make sure there's no contaminants. And then this is a 11 millimeter. Now, a good way to tell if this caliper is bad, they say you're supposed to replace the brake hose with it, but no one does that. This brake line right here, but yeah, like I said, no one does that. So pretty much to tell if that's bad or not. So if your caliper's sticking like this one was, take that washer, put that right here. If caliper's sticking, a good way to tell if, you know, it's the actual caliper or that brake line collapsed. Just if you're trying to push in that piston and it won't go in, or it's kind of sticking, just, oh my god, amateur hour over here, guys. See, once you get brake fluid in here, it gets incredibly sticky. All right, slippery. Yep, I can't grip it. So anyways, so you go up there into the brake fluid reservoir and go ahead and put some open up that cap and let some of the pressure relieve. And if the piston goes in, that's fine. It's sticky, you know, that'll let you know it's the caliper or not. But if it won't go in whatsoever, you crack open this bleeder valve, and if the piston just slides in nice and smooth, that's how you know you got yourself a brake line collapse, which then you have to replace that brake line. I have a brake line. I just want to make sure that if we don't need it, we don't replace it. Like I said, they say you're supposed to replace it. Some says don't worry about it. I don't know. It all depends on who you are, I guess. But to save money, we are not right now. Okay, brake pad goes in nicely. Same there. Now, if you remember from doing it the first time, you're going to want to use larger one up top. That smaller one on the bottom. Well, that's on. Complete amateur hour, kept dropping it. So this bleeder valve is an 8 millimeter. I'm just gonna go ahead and crack it open to let it gravity bleed for a little bit. And I like to do things the old-fashioned way: open, close with the brake. Somebody using the brake pedal. Every time I buy one of those bleeders, it just, the seals wear out really fast and it just goes bad quick. So I'm just gonna not bother with those, purchasing those anymore. So get this bled out. All right, now that someone's in the car, I don't have my longer hose, unfortunately, I lost it. Go ahead and pump the brakes, get some fluid going. All right, pump it.
Down.
All right, go back up.
Up.
Down.
Down.
Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Now periodically check to make sure you got brake fluid still in the reservoir. You do not want that to run dry because that would kind of defeat the purpose of what we're doing, trying to get the air out. Down. Up. I think I'll go one more time. Down. Up. Down. All right, so that's it. That's how you replace caliper and bleed out the brakes. Like I said, gravity bleeding them does work. Does get a lot of the air out. But when that's all done, just do that and enjoy. Hope this helped.